Welcome. Let's start out with a spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. So I invite you to just know the truth with me, that there is only one thing, and that thing is spirit, that each of us is an individuation of this wonderful thing we call spirit or God. There is nothing else, and it is essentially good. It is love in expansion. And each of us is living in this loving universe. Together, we have embarked on this beautiful journey called life. A journey that deserves to be filled with love and light and joy and wonderful health. And so right here and now, I declare that this morning is a time of celebration of all the gifts of life with which we are endowed so naturally, so effortlessly. And I know that as this morning progresses, this day progresses, this life progresses, more and more good unfolds for each and every one of us. I give thanks for this good now unfolding. I give thanks for this day. I turn this treatment over to Spirit, knowing it is already done, and inviting you to say with me, and so it is.
In this very room, there's quiet, joyful words. And in this very room, love for all the world. And there's quiet enough peace, quiet enough power to walk through every field. For spirit, one spirit, is in this very room, is in this very room, is in this very
Thank you so much. We're lucky today to have Richard James here as our musician. So welcome, Richard. I'm Reverend Kate, and it is my joy to welcome you to the Center for Spiritual Living, Carlsbad. We are all here today together because we understand that there is a power for good in the universe, and we can use it. And the mission of this particular center is always to teach, demonstrate, and inspire a positive spiritual approach to living. So right now I'd like to invite Melissa up to light our candles this morning. This candle lighting is just our simple way of reminding ourselves of the underlying spiritual unity of all people everywhere. So first we light a candle for the Tao, honoring the path of harmony and equilibrium. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the path of love. And we light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of the recognition of God as the great creator and sustainer of life. And I would like to invite each one of you to join with me in just taking a moment to recognize our own inner light that is always shining within us as we honor all forms of new thought, the metaphysical path of wholeness, oneness, and mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. Thank you, Melissa. If this is your first visit to our center, we want to let you know that you're very welcome here, and we would love to have you sign our guest book and pick up a welcome packet. It's right near the bookstore, and then you'll be able to get our weekly email. So after the service, we'll have fellowship, and everyone is invited to stay. Spiritual mind treatment, or affirmative prayer, is our gift to you on Sundays. And so right now, I just would like to invite our practitioners to stand and be recognized. They're available to you after the service today, as are Reverend Maurene and I. Thank you. And we have Reverend Gisela here today too, so thank you. We're available to do a spiritual mind treatment for you either after the service during fellowship, or if you would like, you can fill out a written request in the lobby, put it into the treatment request box, and then we will give that request to our prayer team, and they will do treatment for you this week. Now, if you look inside your program, on the left-hand side, you'll see that we printed the announcements there, but I want to just highlight a couple of things. So next week, we're going to be making up gift bags for the homeless during our fellowship hours. So I see that some people have brought their gifts of toiletries today. And if you have anything else that you would like to bring them next week, because next week is when we'll actually fill the gift bags. The other thing is that thanks to Nikki and Norm for this idea, we're going to start a quick food drive. I know it's been over, half a year or so since we did our last food drive, so maybe our cabinets are getting full again of things that we would like to share. So next week and the week after, if you could bring non-perishable items, anything that's not in glass, basically, here we'll be collecting it and delivering it to the North County Food Bank. And the other thing is, so next week we're going to be doing our gift bags for the homeless. And then the week after that, so that'll be the 18th, the week before Christmas, we'll have a little Christmas party here. So keep that in mind. And we will be holding a service on Christmas morning also, just so you kind of know what's coming up, because I know this is a big month for people. So we enter the time of the Christmas celebration. So as everyone knows, this is really a community-based spiritual center, and I want to just have us all recognize today's volunteers and helpers. So first, Pat Zagwin, thank you for the beautiful flowers. Let's thank me and Costco for the cookies, which I know that's really popular. Costco gets the credit. But I picked them out. And I'd like to thank Martha and Robert for serving as greeters today. You already know Melissa for the candle lighting. We're going to have Morgan called up in just a couple of minutes for our reading. And I'd like to thank Practitioner Larry for doing our recording today. I'd also like to thank Angel, who isn't here right now, but he's coming back to help put everything away for our setups. Everything was nice when we arrived. And I'd like to thank Jan for the beautiful layout of the bookstore. If you're looking for a Christmas gift, the bookstore is ready to help you out. Now, if you'd like to be a part of our volunteer group, the sign-up sheet is on the greeting table. And it really makes it fun. You know, it really makes it feel like a family activity when we all pitch in. So now I'd like to invite you to look inside your program on the right-hand side where you find the group reading. And let's read that aloud together. God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect love and perfect abundance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with its perfect life, perfect love, and perfect abundance. So I'll turn it over to Richard for our group song. So please stand.
Holy ground. Now there's a verse to it. I don't know if everybody sings that as well, but they'll recognize the refrain. Starts off. As I walk through the door, I felt the presence, and I knew this was the place where love was. This is the temple the God of love abides here. We are standing in His presence on holy ground. We are standing on holy ground, and I know that there are angels all around. Let us feel God's love right now. That sweet presence here with us on holy ground. One more time. We are standing on holy ground, and I know that there are angels all around. Let us feel God's love right now. That sweet presence here with us on holy ground.
Very nice. We learned a new song today. Thank you. I would like to now invite Maurene to give us today's reading.
We're going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to read each stanza twice so we can really let it abide in our hearts. This is a poem entitled "The Lamps Are Different, but the Light is the Same" by Rumi. And we've all heard of Rumi, but a little bit of detail. Rumi was a Persian poet, Islamic scholar, Sufi mystic, born September 30, 1207, and passed on December 17, 1273. So many garish lamps in the dying brain's lamp show. Forget about them. Concentrate on the essence, concentrate on the light. In lucid bliss, calmly smoking off its own holy fire. So many garish lamps in the dying brain's lamp show. Forget about them. Concentrate on the essence, concentrate on the light. In lucid bliss, calmly smoking off its own holy fire. The light streams toward you from all things, all people, all possible permutations of good, evil, thought, passion. The lamps are different, but the light is the same. The light streams toward you from all things, all people, all possible permutations of good, evil, thought, passion. The lamps are different, but the light is the same. One matter, one energy, one light mind, endlessly emanating all things. One turning, pardon me, one turning and burning diamond, one. One matter, one energy, one light mind, endlessly emanating all things. One turning and burning diamond, one. Ground yourself, strip yourself down to blind, loving silence. Stay there until you see you are gazing at the light with its own ageless eyes. Ground yourself, strip yourself down to blind, loving silence. Stay there until you see you are gazing at the light with its own ageless eyes.
Yes. Now the holiday season is upon us, and we do have so much to be thankful for, and in that process we can share our light with everyone. And that is part of the theme for today, is sharing the light, giving from ourselves. And I'd like to do a song. I've been doing this lately in different situations. Something that came out in 2016. Josh Groban had a big hit with this song. It's such a beautiful song called Thankful. Josh couldn't be here today. So. Some days we forget to look around us. Some days we can't see the joy that surrounds us. So caught up inside ourselves, we take when we should give. So for tonight we pray for what we know can be, and on this day we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change, even though we all can still do more. There's so much to be thankful for. Look beyond ourselves. There's so much sorrow. It's way too late to say, I'll cry tomorrow. Each of us must find our truth. It's so long overdue. So for tonight, we pray for what we know can be, and every day we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change, even though we all can still do more. There's so much to be thankful for. Even with our differences, there is a place we're all connected. Each of us can find each other's lives. So for tonight, we pray for what we know can be, and on this day, we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change. And even though this world needs so much more, so much to be thankful for. There's so much to be thankful for.
How beautiful. Thank you, Richard. Well, now I get to introduce Reverend Maurene, and I know that she has really got some great ideas for us about this season of light. So please welcome Reverend Maurene.
Okay, it's going to work this time. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Oh, it's great to see the smiles. You know, it's such a gift to receive a smile in the morning. Ah, another beautiful, crispy day in North San Diego County. So today, something a little different. And my hat's off to Gisela's husband, Dr. Tom Sanner, who teaches a class in the mysticism of science of mind. So today, I want to go a little deeper than I usually do. I like to be funny and silly and happy, but I want to go a little deeper into the mysticism that is science of mind. This, some people call it a religion, some call it a philosophy. It's metaphysical, but it's also mystical. So I want to touch on that. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, and his understanding of the inner light. Now, the outer physical light is a reflection of the inner physical light. Physical light sustains all life on earth. Spiritual life creates and heals. And I believe spiritual light is what created the universe. So light is your essence. You are a body made of light, a light body. So did anybody see the sunset last night? That was pretty amazing.
Wow.
You know, it was the colors. And it always amazes me. It's like they're going to the evening is going to outdo itself because it's not sure it's going to come back tomorrow. But there's a light you have a picture of it. Show that picture. Isn't that amazing? So So there's a light we can measure and see with the human eyes, and we call it physical light, but that's not all the light that there is. There is the inner light, which we can experience in high states of consciousness. And I'm going to describe my experience with the light. And spiritual light, I believe, is first cause, meaning in religious science we talk about creation. And it is the first cause to the effect of physical light in our environment. I don't know if some of you watched the inauguration of Joe Biden. There was a very young poet, and her name is Amanda Gorman. She's the youngest inaugural poet in history. She was only 22 then. She said, "There is always light if only we're brave enough to see it, and if only we're brave enough to be it." So, we can be the light, be conscious of the light. First though, I have a little joke for you. This little boy comes home from Sunday school and he says, "Well, hi Mom." And she goes, "Well, hi, how was Sunday school? What'd you learn about?" And he says, "Exodus." And she goes, "Well, tell me more." "Well, this guy, Moses, God talks to him and says, 'Get my people out of Egypt.' So Moses figures, okay, how's he going to get the people out of Egypt? So he develops an underground, and he gets people through the underground. And then they go to the Red Sea, and he realizes, we got to get across the water. So he calls his field engineers, and they build pontoons, and the pontoons go across the Red Sea. And they get to the other side, and the Egyptians are coming after them. So he calls his field artillery, and he says, "You gotta bring up the guns and bomb the Egyptians." And the mother goes, "What? Wait a minute. Did they really teach you that in Sunday school?" And he says, "Well, gee, Mom, if I told you what they taught me, you'd never believe it." So I am going to mention Moses for real. Moses had a cosmic experience. He had the experience of the burning bush that was not consumed in fire. It was a light. It was a flame. It was the presence of God. And as you recall, he asked, "What shall I say your name is?" And the light answered, "I am, the I am." And we know from religious science, the I am is the Christ consciousness. It is the inner light. So quantum science, and I know Richard is a big proponent of physics. He's actually worked in physics. Quantum science asserts that matter emerges out of a quantum field that is characterized as energy and information. Some call the ultimate consciousness spirit, indwelling light, the I am. Light represents consciousness. Physical light is known as photons, and photons are unique in that they can act like a particle or a wave or both at the same time. That's kind of the paradox of quantum physics. And just as light is both a wave and a particle, you too, you are universal and you're individual. So you can be a light, you can be a particle or a wave. So this month marks the solstice, December 21st, and in the Northern Hemisphere, we experience the least amount of light and the longest day, and that has affected our civilization to go without sun. Some people get seasonal affective disorder, they get depressed because they're not having as much serotonin. And traditionally, people bring in a Yule log, a big log, and light it, or they bring in little trees with candles on them since 1630. And the little Christmas trees used to have apples on them, but now we have these beautiful red globes instead of the apples. But sunlight is so important. The sun, the photons are so important because that's how we have photosynthesis from plants. We would all starve to death if we did not have the sun, because the plants produce sugars and starches, and that's how we live. So what is this physical light? A little more about photons. A photon is a quanta, meaning it's like a packet of energy, and it has no mass. It travels at the speed of light when it's in a vacuum. Now, it slows down in water and other particles, but it travels 186,000 miles a second. So light from the sun gets here in 8 minutes. And the photon is actually a quantum of electromagnetic radiation. So radiation, I don't know, some of you may know that it includes radio waves, it includes microwaves, infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays, gamma rays. We can't see all those. Our eyes can only see a small area. But the photons are working for us all around us. They travel through connected fibers. That's how we get cell phones. That's how we have cable. And that's how we have internet. Thank you, photons. Genesis said all things were called into being when God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And light was the first creative force that created. In the Hebrew Bible, I have a friend who taught me some Hebrew, and the word for that light is feminine, meaning it's a creative power that created all that we see. Matthew 5:16 says, "You're the light of the world. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father, which is in heaven." Jesus told us the kingdom of heaven is within. So let your light shine. Spiritual mind treatment is mystical. It's a mystical process. I know in doing spiritual mind treatment, Ernest Holmes, our founder, said, "Light is the fundamental essence out of which everything is created." He said, "God is light, and insofar as any of us enter the light, we will receive illumination." And he said that a treatment, if it could be seen, it would be a pathway of light. All spiritually minded metaphysical practitioners, when they're treating, often experience light. I have felt the light when I've been treating. I have felt the shift in consciousness, but I have felt like it's snowing on me. And it's really light that is flowing. Because what we do with treatment is we release the blockages. We allow this flow of light and love to come through us and take advantage of treatment. 5-step, 7-step, absolute. We have different kinds of treatment, but it's all the same. We treat the mind and we change. We allow the flow, the light to come through us. Ernest Holmes also said that good health is nothing more than our cells and our energetic systems vibrating at the rate they were designed to vibrate and in harmony with each other. So what he's saying is when you treat, you're going to vibrate at a higher level. You're going to vibrate at the level of health and wellness. And in that vibration, you heal yourself. You are healed. So, scientific prayer, spiritual mind treatment, is conscious, deliberate generation of a love light wave of energy. And we speak our creative word, we speak the word, we invoke a new vibration. So everybody has the power to do that. And we can transcend any physical or mental limitation as long as we focus the light. The light is also synonymous with truth. So when we speak the truth, we are speaking the light. We're letting the light flow to create the truth in the treatment. Through prayer, we focus spiritual light. So we're not in it, we're not of it, we're not with it. We are it. Everything has already been given to us. We're simply revealing the perfection which already is. So in the Hebrew writings again, this creative force, the Shekinah, is said to be the presence of God. And it was the light that went before the Israelites in the desert. During the day, it was a light with a cloud. And at night, it was a light. And it showed them the way, this is the presence. And, you know, in Christian culture, we say where 3 or more are gathered, there is the presence. Well, in the Hebrew Talmud, where 10 or more are gathered, there is the Shekinah, the presence of God. So it's interesting little differences. Ernest Holmes, you may know, he had a cosmic consciousness experience. He was teaching, I think it was at the Whittier Church, and it's recorded on YouTube, but he's talking and all of a sudden he stops talking. And he's like, he stops talking and he says, I'm not gonna talk anymore. And he leaves, and later his driver sits down with him and he tries to explain in words what happened. But when you have this kind of experience of the full light, it's very hard to speak about it. Speaking from experience, he basically said he saw everybody as a dancing light, as a shimmering light. And it was overcoming to him. He was in so much light. You know, it's just like, well, Rumi. Rumi is a great example of a mystic. I'm sure if he could write about light the way he does, he has experienced the light. Moses, when he came down from the mountain, he was so illumined, they said he glowed. And Jesus, at different times, he would come, and even after the resurrection, he was so filled with light that people didn't recognize him. He was so complete and one with the light. Saul, who was on the road to Damascus and was blinded by the light and changed his name to Paul. Plotinus, the Greek philosopher, had 7 times in which he experienced the light. Ralph Waldo Emerson, he was walking across the common at Concord. Walt Whitman, William Blake. You know, Jesus said, what I do, you can do. So you can have that experience if you want a greater experience of the light. I'd say start with prayer treatment. Start with meditating on the light within you. Start with contemplation of the light and let it grow from there. You can't decide when you're going to have an experience of the light, but you can watch for small instances of the light in your life, like people who are filled with light. So everyone has a light at their center, and this light is never obliterated. Now, it can be obscured. I think if you use too many drugs or too much alcohol, I think you can obscure the light. And I think you need to protect the light within, protect your body. And when this happened to me, I was meditating, and it's hard to put words around it. It's really hard to explain it. It's like I stuck my finger in an electric socket. I didn't get shocked, but I got exploded into a million particles. It's kind of like that. It's like I was in so much light, but the light was love, and the love was light. They were one and the same. They were the same energy. They were just experienced differently. And so now I know when people say, well, God is light, God is love. Yes, because I have that experience that it is both. And it is so much more than you can put words on. So I'm not going to, because each person has their own experience because we're all unique. And, you know, we're human beings. We do have flaws. We have issues. Emerson, Ralph Waldo, as I call him, he said there's a crack in everything that God has made. We're made alike, but we're still vulnerable. And Rumi and Leonard Cohen, the poet, said the crack is where the light comes in. So we have to explore the darkness. We have to explore our shadow self and allow the light then to open that up for us and dispel the darkness. So just remember, you give light form. You create form through putting your attention. And this is, sometime I'll talk more about quantum physics, but what you put your attention on, you create more of. And when you create that mental equivalent, you are creating a form for that energy, the light, specifically to create. We're all meant to let our light shine, and it's in everyone. So Jesus said something. He said, do not, what did he say? Do not judge by appearance. Judge rightly. And I think what he means is you can't judge anybody because they all have the light. They are all a version of the light. They all carry the light. They all carry the love. We're all God in an amazing disguise. So let's not be judgmental. And one of my favorite authors said, Anne Lamott, the road to enlightenment is long and difficult. You should try not to forget snacks and magazines. So each of us is radiating this different light, and we're all on our own path. And maybe we're trying to become enlightened. Maybe we're just trying to become more loving and just be in the presence and look at it and everything. Whatever your path is, we do it in different ways, and we respect each other for those ways. So Nelson Mandela, who was the first president in South Africa, he was also a Nobel Peace Prize winner. He said, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. So to realize within oneself a divine presence, a perfect person, is to recognize the Christ. This is what Ernest Holmes said. He said, let us learn to be still. Let the truth speak. Be still and know that the inner light shines. So this December, we have shorter days, and there may be less physical light, but that doesn't mean we have less inner light. The light that flows through us is universal energy. It's the light of the universe. And you give it form and how you feel and how you live your life and the way you act. That's what shapes the light in your life. And I wanted to just remember a special person in my life, and I see Gisela here too. Gisela is one of these people, comes into the room and the whole light shines. The room shines, you just see the light. And my former mother-in-law was that way too. She would come into a room and it was like everybody would just turn and watch her. She studied New Thought, she meditated, she did her practice, she was a therapist. She helped lots of people. She just, when you were around her, you felt silly, you felt giddy, you felt happy, you felt elated, you know, you felt gleeful. There was something about her, and I think it was just her energy. She would just give off a glow, and she loved everybody, and everybody loved her. So, do you know somebody like this? Yeah. Whenever we shine our life into another person's life, we make a difference. It leaves a lasting, timeless mark. And it teaches us how we can heal our planet. Love and light are real. Everything else is not. It's an illusion. Light shared stirs up compassion and the greatness of spirit that is everyone's gift to the world. So in closing, I just want to say the key is to open yourself to the universal light. Remove the blocks of love. This morning I tried to do a meditation, but my battery failed. But I was having people go into, well, it's a metaphor for your heart. Go into your home, your heart, clean the windows, open the doors, let the light out. Because when you let it out, you give, you receive. So open your heart, give and receive, and watch the light create in your life. And lastly, Maya Angelou, she's passed on, but she said, nothing can dim the light that shines from within. So, shine on. Thank you. So we have a musical selection from Richard.
I'm just listening, I'm almost in a meditative state. It's time to wake up, Richard. Let's see. It is December, and so I just have to do one holiday song. And we happened to watch it last night. Charlie Brown Christmas. A nice punchline for all of us at the end of the song, but I love it. Christmas time is here. Happiness and cheer. Fun for all the children come. Their favorite time of year. Wonder why. Snowflakes in the air. Carols everywhere. Olden times. Ancient rhymes. Love and dreams to share. Sleigh bells in the air. Beauty everywhere. Yuletide by the fireside. Joyful memories there. Christmas time is here. Families drawing near. Oh, that we could always see some spirit through the year. Sleigh bells in the air. memories there. Christmas time is here, families drawing near. Oh, that we could always see such spirit through the year. Oh, that we could always see such spirit through the year. Christmas time is here. Thank you.
Well, this is our time for conscious giving. And we have many ways of giving. I think we have cash, check, Venmo, credit card, etc. So if you would like to take your gift and just put it on your heart and just repeat after me. Divine light
Divine light
flowing through me
flowing through me,
blesses and multiplies
blesses and multiplies
all that I have,
all that I have,
all that I am,
all that I am,
all that I circulate.
all that I circulate.
I give great gratitude that this is so,
I give great gratitude that this is so,
and so it is.
and so it is.
I am so blessed.
I am so blessed, everyone. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you all. And we have another song, which is should be on your chair. We usually do a particular song, something a little different today. We're going to be singing, standing and singing This Great Light of Mine. So,
Everybody.
would like to stand?
This great light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this great light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This great light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. When I go to work, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, when I go to work, I'm gonna let it shine. When I go to work, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. When I go to play, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, when I go to play, I'm gonna let it shine. When I
We want to be prayed up before we go out. So let's just take one deep breath. And I'm going to let Gisela give us the treatment.
Oh, my heart is filled with immense gratitude for an inspirational message, wonderful music, the practitioners, the volunteers, everyone here. Together, we are expressions of the light of spirit. In this very moment, more clearly, more deeply, more profoundly, more joyously, I recognize that there is one power, one presence, one life, one light, one peace, beauty, joy. And that one continuously, lovingly, joyously, powerfully individualizes itself as each one of us. And in this moment, we realize the truth of that, the truth of our very nature. Something has been ignited in us, and it shines forth a bright, brilliant light. We're no longer going to let it shine. We're shining right here and right now. In this very moment, we realize, I am the light of God. I am the love of God. I am the peace and the power and the beauty and the joy of God. And my life has been changed. I am changed. I'm moving forward as a new person. That spiritual being that I've always been. In this moment is a moment of awakening, of beginning, of transformation, of moving forward. I am so immensely grateful for this truth in each and every one of us. And together, we are changing the world with great gratitude, knowing that this is so. I let go of this word of truth, and it unfolds. It is unfolding right here and right now in powerful, wonderful, joyous, most loving ways. With gratitude, I know it is so, and so it is.
Thank you, Gisela. Thank you.
I am transformed.